Welcome to a training session on how to complete the 2025 Women of Tomorrow Scholarship Application. If you follow the link provided, it will take you to the screen. All of you are completing this for the first time, so your first step is to come here and create an account. All right, the first thing we need to do is enter in an email address, which will also be your username whenever you log in. So let me go ahead and plug in my Gmail account. Now we need a password. So let me put in my secret password, re-enter my password, and then it needs my first name and last name. All right, then let's hit submit. It's loading, it's thinking about it. It's creating my account, and here we go. Okay, you're going to see that on the side right away, this chat box came up. So as you're completing the application, if you do get stuck, you can actually type in questions. I'm going to close that for now. Okay. If you look at this, you're going to see that the first page is just a lot of the rules and regulations. Please read this carefully. It talks about what the qualifications are for the scholarship, and then what the responsibilities are if you are chosen as a recipient. It also explains here how the monies will be dispersed, what documents we need from you, how long you have to receive the information. It tells you what will be the termination of the scholarship. Like what do you not want to do? And finally, after you read this very carefully, it's asking you to agree to all the conditions. And you can just fill in that little agree button. By the way, if at any point during this application you have questions, we do have a scholarship coordinator that you can reach via email or phone number. So always reach out to Gina if you get stuck. After reading all the rules and regulations, we put together a little bit of a scholarship checklist to help you. So if you actually want to cut and paste, print out this section, feel free. It goes on with a few more reminders that we will tell you about the scholarships at the graduation luncheon, reminds you to get a hold of Gina, tells you please do not leave anything blank. If you don't have an answer, it's not applicable to you, just write NA for not applicable. All items must be submitted to be accepted. And we even offer a couple of tips on how to do this. So after you carefully read this first page, ask any questions in case you have any, then we're going to hit next. Now we're going to go to where you're actually going to fill in information. So it already fills in my first name, my last name, but it wants to make sure that it's really me. So I'm going to go ahead and re-enter it. It has my email already. Now it's going to ask for my address. This is pretty simple. All right, now it's going to ask for my cell phone number because this is probably the easiest way if we need to reach you. If you have a home phone number, enter that in. I don't, so I'm just going to type in non-applicable. Do you have an alternate phone number? For example, maybe you have a phone number at home, you have a cell phone number, but you're really bad at getting phone calls. So you would like them to call mom or dad or your sister. If not, just say no. What's the best way that we can contact you? Do you want us to call cell, home, or the alternate? Well, for me, it's cell. In what grade did you begin with Women of Tomorrow? I started in 10th grade. What is your student ID number? That's that number that you were assigned by Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I'm just making up a number because I'm not a student anymore. What is your legal status? Well, I'm a U.S. citizen. If you are any of these others, just go ahead and check that out. But remember, in order to be eligible for a Women of Tomorrow Scholarship, you must have a legal status to live and work in the U.S. Then we have all these options to identify your race and ethnicity. And have you been in Women of Tomorrow for at least 3 years? I'm going to say yes. If you were to say no, it will ask you for an explanation, like what happened. Did you switch schools? Were you at a school that started it late, a school that didn't have it? You can answer the question. The committee will consider it. All right. What high school did you attend and participate in? There's a drop down here. All the schools are here. So you find your school. And now some of you may have been to more than one high school and participated in Women of Tomorrow, more than one high school. So if you say yes, it will give you that drop down again. Or if you've just been at the same high school, then the answer is no. And that option, that drop down option will disappear. What is your current unweighted GPA, which you can find on your transcript? Plug that in. What is your weighted GPA, which you could also find on the transcript? And do you expect to graduate high school with either a Cambridge diploma or an IB, International Baccalaureate diploma, or an associate's degree? If you are in one of these programs, you will know. If not, you just say, no, I'm not going to graduate with any of that. So I have filled everything out. I'm going to now move on to the next page. Oh, look at this. Address is required. Apparently, I made a mistake. Oh, look at this. I forgot the state. All right, let me find Florida. Okay, so it does tell you if you forgot something, just read on top, address is required, go to address and see, all right, did I miss something? For some reason, I forgot. I put in, you know what I did? I put in FL when I should have put in entire Florida, the word. All right, now I can go down and say, hey, let's go to the next page. Okay, the next part is financial information. Now, again, it gives you a really big explanation here about FAFSA. Now, listen, let's say that you have not filled out FAFSA yet. You should have, but if you did not, you could always hit save for later, go take care of FAFSA, and then log in back into this form and continue. All right. I've been a good girl, so I'm going to say yes, I did complete my FAFSA. Have you, oops, sorry, but there, okay, so now that I've completed my FAFSA, it's asking me for my student aid index, which is on that FAFSA summary that you get. So I'm going to say that mine was 1,000. And what is my Pell Grant award? Let's say that I was awarded 7,500. If for some reason you did do the FAFSA and you did not get this information, don't forget, you can just do NA. Have you applied for Bright Futures? Yes, I have. See how it pops up, new questions pop up once I did that? Are you eligible for Florida Bright Futures? Well, I am very smart, so I'm going to say yes. All right, now, which Florida Bright Futures do you qualify for? Well, I qualify for Florida Medallion. Remember, if you say no, that's fine. These questions will not pop up. Do you have Florida prepaid? No, I don't have one of those. And do you qualify for free or reduced lunch? Yes, yes, I do. By the way, here's another, it's just a little reminder, like, okay, before you go on, if you need to save and take a break, you can do that here. All right, now we need information about your family. How many people live in your household? Well, I have 3. What is the total household income? This is information you're going to have to ask mom or dad, because on the tax return that they submitted for 2023, there is a line for adjusted gross income. And whatever number is in that line, that's what you need to enter in there. So I'm going to put in 75,000. All right, now it wants some more information. What is the name of your parent, your guardian, your caretaker? So I'm going to put in my dad's name. Yes, I live with this person. He is my father, and his primary language is Spanish. He is also white, non-Hispanic. His highest level of it, well, he had a little bit of high school, and he is actually unemployed. Now, it's asking for his phone number. So let me plug that in and his email address. So I'm just making things up here so that I can get this application, but obviously you're going to be putting in the real information. Do I have another parent or guardian to list? I put in my dad's information. If I wanted to add in my mom's, I would say yes. And what you'll see is that all of a sudden, all the same questions will pop up again. If I say no, then all these questions will not appear. All right, I think I'm done here. Let me go ahead and hit next. Loading. Okay, look at this. I'm on the next page. This next page is now academic information. It's questions that I, the student, need to answer. Are you considering attendance at Miami-Dade College? Yes, I am. The reason it's asking that is because we do have scholarships specific to Miami-Dade College. But if you're not interested in attending Miami-Dade College, I'm not going to consider you for that scholarship. Same thing for Broward. Do I want to go to Broward to study healthcare? Not really, so I'm going to say no. Are you specifically interested in studying nursing? No, I'm not. Or maybe you're interested in doing something that is not healthcare or not nursing at Broward College. Remember, if you are interested in Broward, if you are interested in something related to healthcare, say yes, because we have specific scholarships that we'll consider you for. Are you ready to pursue a degree in liberal arts? Yeah, you know what? I am. Again, there's a specific scholarship for that. All right, academic plans. Here, you're going to list 3 schools that you have applied to, and you have to put them in order of like of all the schools you applied to, this is my number 1 school. Okay, so if you have 3, put in 3. Maybe you're only considering 2 or 1. I'm going to say 2. Once I do that, it's going to say, okay, well, what's your number 1 choice? My number 1 choice is Harvard. It is in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I have been, all right, I'm pending. I don't know yet. Once I say pending, it says, well, when do you think you're going to know? I'm hoping to get an answer in February of 2025. Now, if I have a financial aid award letter or a scholarship that Harvard has offered me, I'm going to go ahead and upload that information. But if you don't, you don't. Don't worry about it. All right. I said I was going to enter in 2 schools. So here's school number 2. I'm going to put in FIU. It's in Miami, Florida. I have been accepted. And let's see, you know what? I already got a scholarship award from FIU. So let me find that file. I hit upload. Here you go, Scholar 1. That's what I named my file. And I'll put a file name of FIU scholarship. Oops. And upload and save. Give it a minute. And now you will see that that letter with the information about your FIU scholarship has been uploaded. If you made a mistake, you could always remove it. Okay, I only wanted to list 2 schools. Now it says other scholarship info. All right, are there any other scholarships that you've applied for? If you haven't, just say no, and you can move on. But I actually did, so let's say yes. Give it a second, and then it's going to say, okay, how many other scholarships did you apply for? It's a drop down. You can put up to 3. Same thing. I'm just going to, well, here, let me just put 1. Okay. Then it's going to say, okay, well, what is the name of the scholarship? Let's say I applied to the trying to do this correctly, Coca-Cola Scholarship. And I hope to win $10,000. What's the status? Well, they haven't told me if I won yet. So I'm just going to say pending. All right. Work experience. Do you have any work experience? No, you say no, but I'm going to say yes. And then we'll ask me for this information. So it says, hey, tell us about like the most recent employer. All right. Well, let's see. I worked at Mentees. Now, where it says description of duties, please write in proper English, a very nice little paragraph or a couple of sentences of what exactly you did. I'm not going to do that for this demonstration because it'll take too long, but I was a cashier and responsible for closing the, oh good, it fixed it for me, the store every night. Remember, you want to write more, but I'm not going to do that because I'm just doing this as an example. Now, I started, let's see, back in summer, 2 years ago, and I actually stopped working when school started. So that would have been September 2024. Here we go. City of employer. Well, Miami. Cashier. Whoops, spell that right. My supervisor was Mary Garcia. And let me give them her phone number. And do I have another work experience list? You could. I mean, you could put as many as you want, but that was my first job and my only job so far. So I'm going to say no. I don't need to list anything else. Do I have any community service to list? Wow. I think you guys are going to have a lot here. Okay. Now, once I say that, you'll see that it says, all right, tell me your first one. If you have one community service, if you have 12, go ahead and list them. So let me see. All right. So I worked at Feed Miami. That I put some hours in there. So let's see. I started that last year at the start of my junior year. So that would have been August of 2023. I'm still there. And this is Feed Miami. Let me think. I did about 5 hours per week. And again, describe exactly what you did. I'm just going to put a few words in, but you want to put in as many sentences to really explain what you did. On a weekly basis, I helped make sandwiches for families in the area that were having financial difficulties buying food. But you will write more. Okay, my supervisor was Juan Alvarez, and let me get his phone number, and I'll plug that in. Do I have another community service list? Most of you are going to say yes, and you're going to keep going. I'm going to go ahead and say no. Now, extracurricular activities, that's different. That is not community service. That is not volunteer work. But I'm sure you have extracurricular activities. So I'm going to say yes. And then we'll say, all right, give me 3. Don't give me 100. Just give me 3. You could do 1. You could do 2. I'm going to do 2 just because it's an example. All right. So what is the organization and the type of activity? Okay. So I was on the school volleyball team. I was libero. Okay. Now here you put in the description. I played really good volleyball. All right. Again, that's just an example, ladies. You're going to put in a very nice paragraph with proper English and good spelling and punctuation about what you did in that extracurricular activity. All right, let's see. I started in my freshman year, so that would have been August of 22. Let me find that year. I decided to stop playing this year when the season ended. So let me go ahead and plug that year in, 24. And then, oh, I did say I was going to put 2 organizations. So I was also an FBLA where we competed in presenting marketing projects. Again, I'm doing this super short. You're going to want to get into more details. I was actually secretary of that club, and I was responsible for taking minutes and posting the meeting date. Remember, you're going to want to put more in there. And I started that, okay, when school started 2 years ago. So that would have been 22. And I'm still in it. All right, next. Oh, look at this. I forgot something. Date you will hear if known and date ended. All right, so date I will hear. Let me see. Where did I miss that? I'm looking. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. When I put in the Coca-Cola scholarship, it says, when am I going to hear back about that? Well, they told me March of this year. Remember, that might be information that you need to look up on the website or to find out directly from them. And then what was the other thing it asked me? Let me see. Date ended. Oh, let's see. I put something that I wasn't doing anymore. Date ended. No, that looks okay there. Community service, volunteer date, extracurricular. Did I miss anything? All right, let me see. And you may have to play with this. So let me see. So we are in January of 2025. Maybe this is where I need to do that. Loading. Oh, perfect. That's what I had missed. Okay. Now, okay, look at this. This is the last page. The last page is where everything that you need to upload gets uploaded. First thing it's going to ask you here is for letters of recommendation. We need 2 letters of recommendation. Now, it's going to say, is the first letter from a mentor? Yes. Is your second letter from a mentor? No. All right. Now, I need to put in the information of who my recommenders are so that they will get an email saying, hey, somebody wants a letter of recommendation from you, and they can just upload it. So here we go. I'm going to add new. All right, the first name. So the name of the person that is going to do my letter is Mary Garcia. Let me put in her email address and reference invite. That's what they call a recommendation letter. So save and send. Okay, let's try that again because I wasn't doing something correctly. Anyway, add new. All right, so I'm going to put the person who is going to do my first recommendation letter, and I'll put in this email address very carefully, and then save and send. Loading, please wait. If you get an error message or it doesn't seem to save, it means that there is an error with your email address that you're using. So make sure it's correct. And then you would just add new to put in that second person. As you can see, I've put in a whole bunch of people as examples. All right. After you've put in the person that's going to be your recommender, we need a headshot. Okay, that's basically a picture of you because we would like to use that when you win the scholarship. So I'll put my picture in and I'll call it my picture. Upload and save. And it's loading. Okay, headshot done. Transcript. Okay, you need my transcript, which I asked for from either my counselor or the registrar at school. Let me find that. That is a PDF file. All right. And let's see. Transcript, upload and save. Transcript. Okay, now you need either my SAT, ACT, or CLT. We do super score. So if you have 1 document or 2 documents, just give us the information that we need to see what is your best score. All right, so let me find my score. I'm going to use this file here, and this, I'm going to call it SAT score. And remember, all of these should be PDF files. It's uploading, all right? So I've got, let's see, I've got my headshot, my transcript, my test scores. Oh, and now here it is. The FAFSA, you need to upload that summary. All right, let me go ahead and hit upload, find the file, and I'm going to open, and I'm just going to call this FAFSA. Upload and save. Okay, keep going. Oh, all right, we're almost at the end. Now, this is the part where you're going to do your short answers and your essays. So first is the personal statement. It says 4,000 characters. Just tell me a little bit about who you are. So here's a really nice space for you to share some information. Here we go. I am a student who is always curious. Now, again, you're going to write a whole bunch more information. I'm just using this as an example. I recommend that you write your answer on a Word document. Make sure you check it for spelling and punctuation and that it's a good answer, and then just cut and paste. The second one is, hey, is there anything that we need to know that may have affected you with COVID, that because of COVID, you switched schools a lot or you didn't do very well in the class? Honestly, I don't really have anything to say about COVID, so I'm going to put NA. Next question, is there any extenuating circumstance, obstacles that you have faced that you think, it's important and you need to tell us about? Let's see. I take care of my younger sister completely. I am her guardian. Again, I'm just making this up as an example. You may have nothing to say, but fill that in. All right. Now, here's a really important question. Describe what Women of Tomorrow means to you, what you gained from the program, what you learned. Be really specific. Use as much space as you can, but this is a really important one. Again, I'm just going to plug this in because it's an example. And then a related question. So make sure that what you answer here is a little bit different than the one before. That's why you need to know all the questions you're going to ask. What was your most memorable experience in Women of Tomorrow? And you're going to plug in your answer there. Next question. They want to know, well, what's your goal? What do you want to be when you grow up? What school do you want to go? Like, what do you want to do? So maybe you want to talk about, well, I'm going to get my bachelor's in literature and then go to law school. But again, you want to write out a very well-written paragraph, well thought out, and then cut and paste it there. Okay. The last box here, if there is anything else that you want to share with the committee that you have not talked about previously in the application, please put it in there. I just became a lifeguard. Just yesterday, in this freezing weather, I became a lifeguard. All right. Now, those are short answers. Now, here is the actual essay question. Read it carefully. There are 3 questions. You only have to pick one. Again, I recommend that you do this on a Word document, perfect your essay, and then cut and paste to put it in here, and then you can submit. Now, remember, if you're on this page and you need to stop before you plug in that essay, or you need to stop and find the document, just save and come back later. That's always an option. And then you just log back into the application and continue where you left off. Finally, there's a concluding statement here. Make sure you read it. You have to agree to it. And if you believe that you are done, you hit submit. If you don't think you're done, hey, save, come back later. I'm going to hit submit for the purposes of this example. Let's see if I forgot anything. Oh, no, I did it correctly. Thanks for signing up. We wish you the best of luck. If you need any help, contact us. I hope this little training session has helped you. If not, please contact Women of Tomorrow. Our scholarship coordinator, Gina, is more than happy to help you. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. I cannot wait to see you all at the graduation luncheon where we will announce the winners.